Stormy Daniels.
One of the things you might not know about me if you just watch my videos is that I'm really into music. In college, I was a DJ on the independent radio station for 2 years, and ironically enough, I'm actually the most famous media personality to come out of KZUU 90.7 FM, a fact that the station's alumni are probably mortified by, considering that at least half of them are literally in Antifa. Anyways, I have a small collection of vinyl records and have a bit of everything, from hip-hop to prog rock to emo, post-rock, or whatever you want to call it. And while I mainly listen to progressive metal, math rock, some jazz, etc., I can appreciate the artistry in most genres of music. Somewhere out there are photos of me at a Young Lean concert in 2014 and a Death Grip show in 2015. But by far the worst type of music is garbage tier leftist protest anthems made for social media. Whether it's that screeching lady Anna Gasteyer going off about gun control, this indie chick strumming her ukulele and complaining about feminism, or today's entry into the wannabe Diana Ross category, it's all painfully horrible. In today's video, we're going to go through this woman's little bit that she did about President Trump and Stormy Daniels. But this is bigger than just lol SJW's dumb. And yeah, this video is painfully dumb, and yeah, it's pretty near unwatchable. But I've seen the argument about Trump and Stormy Daniels that she's going to make here, and it's an interesting discussion. So we'll talk as well about why the Stormy Daniels scandal doesn't affect Trump nearly as much as it would affect a typical Republican, and how that mindset can be utilized by the American right. But first, your online privacy and security. Last month, Facebook suffered one of their biggest data breaches yet, as hackers made off with the sensitive information of approximately 30 million users, contact info, phone numbers, email addresses, hometowns, current cities, birth dates, device types, and more. This was the information that hackers gathered and stole by exploiting a breach in Facebook's security protocols. You want to stay safe online? Be smart about what you post, obviously, but you need to take your personal internet protection to the next level by using a VPN or virtual private network. Prevent yourself from falling victim to hackers on public Wi-Fi or shady websites that log and store your info by using Virtual Shield, one of the easiest to use and fastest VPNs in the world. They have a strict no-log policy. That means your personal info and browsing history isn't being stored anywhere. You have the right to total and complete privacy. This month, Virtual Shield is offering 25% off VPN plans and all premium add-ons, including Protection Plus, residential access, monthly maintenance, phone support, and more for as low as $3 a month. And don't forget about IdentiSafe, which allows you to block microphone and camera access from unwanted spies and hackers. If you don't want entities public or private watching and listening, IdentiSafe is for you. VirtualShield.com/allsup. Check it out today. They're the only VPN that I trust.
Don't know why, when this would sink another guy, Stormy Daniels barely even rates as a scandal.
First off, she's triggering my inner music autiste here. On that first line, she's clearly off-key and it's grating to the ears. Also, what the heck is going on here? You have a microphone with a foam filter around it, and then you have a second pop filter. That's not how that works. Also, if you're singing, you probably want to be using a condenser microphone, and this appears to be a dynamic mic, similar to the Shure SM7B that I use. As riveting as I'm sure this is, and as much as I'd love to talk about audio production all day, let's fire up the counter-argument here. Basically, Trump isn't brought down by the same scandals that would bring down a typical Republican because Trump is already known as sort of a womanizer. He likes women. Kavanaugh likes beer. Mitch McConnell likes Coke, apparently. Sounds like a good time with the three branches of government. Trump has never marketed himself as a pious, religious, social conservative with traditional family values. He's clearly been married 3 times and has children with 3 different women. But despite how he's lived his personal life, evangelicals still love the guy because they see him as a guy who will fight for them, despite not being one of their group. We'll talk more about that in detail in a minute. Let's keep watching.
We're too desensitized. Oh, used to be, they'd get mad at Hillary for her pantsuits. Oh, and remember Barack Obama and his tan suit.
This lady's been hitting the Xanax and Franzia a bit too hard, and it's clearly fried her brain. If you want to talk about desensitizing people to sexual impropriety, things like cheating on spouses, getting multiple marriages, sexual degeneracy, etc., how about we look at who's been pushing those messages onto the American people for the last 70 or 80 years? The elites will complain about Trump allegedly having sex with Stormy Daniels. These are the same elites that write and voraciously read articles like this. Cuckolding can be positive for some couples, study says. This article from CNN, whose low-T male staffers were probably overjoyed when they saw this article hit the front page. From Salon.com, I'm a pedophile, but not a monster. I'm attracted to children, but unwilling to act on it. Before judging me harshly, would you be willing to listen? How about that Netflix cartoon show Big Mouth, created by Nick Kroll, Andrew Goldberg, and Mark Levin, which depicts 11 and 12-year-olds engaging in sexual situations, and recently partnered with Facebook to publish an international masturbation game. You want to talk about desensitizing? How about the coastal elite wine-aunts that fawn over children being dressed up like drag queens and prancing around suggestively at pride parades? Is this lady serious? Is she really trying to blame conservatives and the right for leading the charge on desensitizing American culture? I only listed a few examples here, but there are infinitely more. It's self-evident to anyone paying attention that it isn't conservatives or right-wingers pushing for an increasingly desensitized, sexualized society.
But now we're not even surprised when the president lies. No, 'cause anything for lies. Since Trump's been in office, how our standards have fallen.
The idea of standards is kind of a joke. There's an old tactic that Saul Alinsky wrote about in Rules for Radicals, and it works. Hold your opponent to their own standards. The truth is, many on the left have no standards at all. Their only standard is winning. They don't have a problem with Bill Clinton allegedly raping several women while married to Hillary. He's still a hero. They don't have a problem with Al Franken groping a passed-out woman for a photo op. It happened 10 years ago. It's water under the bridge. But if Trump has a consensual affair with a woman, they'll try to use the conservative standards of behavior against him, despite them not actually believing in them or finding them valuable. It's sort of like when non-religious people accuse conservative Christians of being bad Christians because Jesus would have welcomed refugees or some dumb bit like that. The right needs to be smart and realize that their standards of behavior are being used against them by a left that doesn't believe in them at all. That's not to say that we shouldn't have moral standards. We should. But we should refuse to let the left push us around or try to hold us to standards that they themselves flaunt flagrantly.
A member of his own party just compared him to Stalin.
Imagine caring at all what Jeff Flake, a man so unpopular he couldn't even get reelected in his own primary, so he chose to instead quit in disgrace, has to say. Literally no one cares about Jeff Flake's opinions. Imagine thinking this is some sort of epic blorf-destroying one-liner.
All I do is pray that Mueller will hear us calling and restore sanity once more.
Yeah, you definitely look like a shining paragon of sanity there. Nice jazz hands, by the way. And not the good jazz hands either. Press F to pay respects. Also, the idea that Mueller is going to hear you calling, sister, and haul Trump out of office, let's talk about that. I thought Mueller was supposed to seek justice, not act as a partisan anti-Trump agent. Because if he is acting as a partisan anti-Trump agent, acting on behest of cat ladies everywhere, that would give Trump more than enough justification to fire him and shut down the Russia investigation, which he should have done a long time ago.
In this age, we've exhausted our outrage, can't get excited. Nope, not even when his staffers are indicted. We don't even act surprised, we simply roll our eyes, 'cause all these scandals are super sized. am yours. Really? Nothing?
Sometimes it's hard to put your exact feelings and reactions into words, and this is definitely one of those times. I don't know what the worst part about this was. Her brief flirtations with singing in key, the complete lack of song structure or narrative, the frenzied and insane expressions and hand movements, or the Huffington Post and Zoloft-induced stream of consciousness content and subject matter. There are two main reasons why literally no one is bothered by the Stormy Daniels allegations, and even if they are true, still, nobody on the right would care. Reason number one is, like I mentioned earlier, Trump has never made strong Christian morality a centerpiece of his political agenda. If this were Rick Santorum or Mike Huckabee or Jerry Falwell, this story would be destructive. But it's Donald Trump, the dude who's been featured in multiple Playboy magazines. If you didn't know that Donald Trump was a bit of a womanizer, you weren't paying attention. Additionally, the Christian conservative right that may find his behavior to be morally problematic still recognizes that he is their bastion of defense against a radical left that would crush them if given the chance. Trump may be a sinner, but at least he's defending evangelical Christians and their interests from the unhinged left. And finally, what is the alternative to Trump? People like this? Wine-ons and cat mommies that think being mean to women should be a jailable offense and that Russia literally hacked our ballot machines? Most Americans look at the absolute state of the left, their insanity, their vitriolic anti-male, anti-Republican, anti-white, anti-Trump hatred, and they're really put off by it. In the mind of your average voter, Dotard Blormph may be a crazy, mean orange Cheeto man, but at least he's better than the alternative. Because if being anti-Trump means we're giving people like this the reins of power, sign me, and most people, up for Team Trump any day. All right, so just put a new desk in here, moved everything around so there is a mess. So excuse that. But here are some of my records that I have unpacked. This is Danny Brown, Triple X. This is a pretty good record. One of my favorites. It's mixtape, technically. One of my old classic favorites. This is Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. This is actually also really good. Great experience listening to this on vinyl. Different feel to it. Pretty cool album, good story. This is Classic. This is an original release, King Crimson, in the Court of the Crimson King, 1969. This is a good record. Forefathers of Prague. This is Inter-Party System. This was the only album they ever did, and obviously referential to the Inter-Party from 1984. Really good record, the electronic stuff. This is Hospice by the Antlers. Good if you want to be in a bad mood. That feel when Sylvia won't take her head out of the oven. This is Whenever, If Ever by The World Is a Beautiful Place, and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die. Good record, really good record, but they're all in Antifa, so, you know, as you do. And this is Run the Jewels 2 by Run the Jewels. Again, very politically left-wing, but decent hip-hop record. This is Danny Brown, Smoking and Drinking, the picture disc single. So, cool. Got a lot more, but there you go. It's how it be, how it is. Thanks for watching. See you next time.